Halloween because I have a good idea for the show for Friday, which we'll do next week. And I thought for next week we'll do instead of top like a group of 3. Next week we'll do a group of 4. Any group of 4, like you could do 4 restaurants, you could do 4 attractions, you could do 4 whatever festivals. What we're gonna just rank each one of us. Like you got to rank them. So
Okay.
like you say 4, but you get to pick them. You could say like Riverside, Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge, and Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then you got to give like those 4 in your order.
Okay.
Just like restaurants, stuff like so. Just because 4 is one better than 3. That's instead of top 3. So we'll do that next week. For this Friday or for Monday, we'll do what legitimately scares us at Walt Disney World, and that could be like some kind of an attraction. Like, so here's what I was thinking here because I have funny ones. Obviously, I've been thinking about this all day. Being stuck in the 80s section at Pop Century. My phone battery being at 7% at 10:12 in the morning. Stuff like that. Just fun stuff like that. It doesn't have to be serious.
Okay.
Thank you, James. I am the chief banana today. Not always do I get to be the chief banana, but today, Ooh, I'm hitting the mic boom though, so I gotta be careful with my point up there. Hello, Lonnie.
We want to keep our clean rating.
Yes. Yes. That's why make sure I do not stand up. The fire alarm cannot go off in this house during the show. No, no sudden movements. Stay in the chair. If I have to stand up, I gotta go make sure we're not live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chairs, yes.
That's me. That was one of my first ringtones when I first got an iPhone, which is way back when. The first one, right?
Yep.
And I've kept it. All this time. Like I have personalized ones for some people, but yeah.
So I have the monorail tone, the doo doo, which Katie, remember Katie?
Yeah.
She made that for me back when she was doing Beta Mouse.
Oh gosh, too funny. Yeah.
That's how long I've had that one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty old. But it's confusing when I'm at Walt Disney World because I'm always like, oh, there's the monorail. Dun, 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 dun.
I know.
What is that
from?
That's
No, it's from
Oh, it's I Dream of Genie.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, bugging me real quick.
I like that song better, but if I was gonna watch, if I had my choice between I Dream of Genie and Bewitched, I like Bewitched to watch better. Not that I really have the opportunity to watch either at this point, but
I remember watching Bewitched before school, like as a kid, a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was on that WTBS, and it was just on like all the time. Yeah, and she'd always. So did they both wiggle their nose?
No, it was just Bewitched.
Bewitched. Oh, she went like this, and I Dream of Genie.
Yeah,
and stuff happened.
Yeah, and she had the guy from Dallas there, Larry Hagman was there.
Yeah, it's an astronaut. That's right. He was like a Mercury astronaut or something.
Yeah. It was very cool.
Yes, Chris has a question. That's why Chris came here tonight with a question. That's why we're here. We need questions. Oh my God, Jeff's over in the Prague. I'm from Missouri. I can't pronounce it. Sorry.
Wow, from Prague. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Dude, Ohio State fans go everywhere. That's all I know. Hey, Len. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Amy. Wyatt. World Series. I think it'll be the Astros in 4. Hate to say it, Philly fans. I think your magical season will come to an end. But I mean,
won't our agent Jimmy be excited about that? Right? He's an Astros fan.
He is, and he has heard it from me and others about the cheating thing. But and I'm not big. I don't really like either team, so I'm out of it. I'm just watching football at this point. But the Astros seem to be just an unstoppable force, and I think the Phillies have that mojo. There's always that like team that snuck into the playoffs. It just got hot at the right time. That's the Phillies. So it could happen, but I just think that eventually the magic runs out, and I just think that could happen to the Phillies, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll talk about that virtual. A couple things I want to talk about at the top of the show, so we should actually get started. So we'll talk about that virtual queue. The virtual queue is back. It reminds me of the New Balance shoes. That's when you know you're old. Some people probably don't even know about those things. All
I
right.
know.
Hang on.
Let's do it.
Hang on. Ricky just said, okay. Okay. Well, okay to Ricky.
Okay.
I guess she's okay with me putting the Friday show out on Monday for Halloween. Hello, Tony. Out by Disneyland. Oh my gosh. And the weather's perfect out there this week. I'd love to.
I'm going out in December.
Oh man, I'm missing that.
I know. And you haven't been there during the holidays yet.
I need to get out there. Pam's gonna retire, dude, and we're gonna be able to go anytime in the next few years, and it's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait. 20 miles.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I love Nightmare Before Christmas at the Haunted Mansion. I love the It's a Small World holiday.
Yep.
There's some good fireworks out there too.
We do not have Banana Man, but we did have a show called Bananas in Pajamas.
Oh yeah.
I didn't. Our kids never watched that. I don't think I allowed it. It looked a little freaky. I think it would have given me nightmares. So I can't hardly move my head. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do quite. I don't know if you can actually podcast this thing, and I'm actually getting hot. So we'll see
you need room to to move. It's like an event podcast, and you can't have constricting clothing.
Seriously, podcasting is more physical than people realize. You gotta be ready. You gotta be yeah. How many calories am I burning? Twice as many. I'm burning 2. Okay, so you got questions coming in. People are like, why don't you start? We're just keep firing questions.
Okay. Good.
Tim's like passive aggressive here. Like, I gotta ask about Beer Garden because in Candlelight Processional, because these guys just keep talking. And I appreciate you, Tim. So thank you. Okay, here we go. Let's see, 2178. All right. Welcome to episode 2178 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week leading up to Halloween this coming Monday. Time to get all those tricks and treats out there, and more importantly, get the kits and the cats and the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So hopefully you're ready for that. And again, we always remind you, and we'll do this for the next couple of shows on that way home from work on Monday evening. You may have a case of the Mondays, but slow down and be careful for all the little ghosts and goblins that will be out there excitedly crossing the streets, not looking both ways, just trying to collect as much candy as possible. But that day's coming and we'll have a good time with that. But I'm always in the spirit. I'm the Chief Banana tonight. So if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, hey, there you go. Joining me today to answer your listener questions. We're going to have a good time today. It's Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, happy Wednesday. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. And so here's my dilemma this year. So we have moved into a new neighborhood, which I've talked about on the podcast a lot. There's only 39 homes in our little neighborhood here. Okay. I don't know what to do in terms of candy. Do the other kids from other neighborhoods come over? We're sort of in the country, but there's our neighborhood, and our builder built another neighborhood that's right across the street. Do those kids come over? How much candy am I buying? I bought the jumbo bag from Costco because at our last neighborhood, we would get hundreds of kids.
Right.
So now I'm I don't know what to do. So
you brought a listener question to the table, which I think I can help you with. Okay,
I did good.
Okay, so we moved about 3 years ago from a place that was all starter homes, just packed in, high density. I mean, just tons of homes, small little homes. So we'd have to buy the the little variety packs. We bought cheap candy because we'd have hundreds of kids.
Yeah, I mean, so you had to get volume.
Right, we'd go broke if we didn't buy the cheap stuff. I hated that. But, we also bought the good Kit Kats and stuff because, we give that out to the kids we knew. The kids that were on the street that came by, they got the good stuff. Like randos, they got the Sixlets and stuff like that are terrible. Tootsie Rolls. So, but the deal is now that we live still in kind of a smaller subdivision. Well, we live in a subdivision with a lot of houses, but we're in like a really modest subdivision, but around us are like country clubs. Like we live in the smallest houses in like the area with these gigando houses. They're all spread out, kind of like where I think where you're living, like these houses are way far apart, they're so these people I think are in that same kind of dilemma. And Mallory's already onto this, right? She's 14, turning 15 in January. And I asked her, I'm like, oh, so what are we doing for Halloween? Because you got to go out and get the candy, right? And I'm like, you staying here, gonna hand out candy with us. I have a nephew who's 5, and I'm like, he just moved out to this area. I'm like, we going trick-or-treating with him? Is he coming over to our house? We can hit all these houses, see all the neighbors. She's like, oh no, you guys can do what you want. She's like, I'm going with my friend, and we're going out to her house. So her house, where her friend lives, is like the nicest of the nicest neighborhoods out here in the country club. And exactly what she said. She goes, because we're not going to get as much, but we're going to get full-size candy bars at
There you go.
single house. I was telling you, when you don't have the density, the kids are expecting full-size candy bars. So you better be ready. I mean, I wouldn't be.
Well, I'm going to give a handful of full-on bar. Like, so you'll get like Kit Kat, the Kit Kat, you'll get a Snickers, you'll get a Reese's peanut butter, like multiple things. Okay. So,
that works.
okay. All right.
Legit.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you what the kids are saying, man. They've already got their strategy down cold. Like they're not even messing with our neighborhood. Okay. Even though they would be able to they'd probably be able to hit 100 houses in our subdivision, maybe in an hour and a half. They could probably do a house a minute because we're real close together in our subdivision. These houses out where her friend lives, they're really spread out because they're on huge lots. But they're being practical, right? They're probably going to hit 15 houses and expect, oh man, we're good for, a month. Right. They're cheerleaders, they're always like, oh my God, how many calories does that cookie have in it? And I'm like, you're a kid, eat. You practice all the time. Like enjoy it now because that'll be your life in 10 years where you have to worry about that stuff. Don't worry about it now.
Well, anyway. And then too, I want to say this one thing. I know when I was a kid, I was not excited about the Almond Joys, but let me just say the Almond Joys at my house now, like I think me, Steve, and Hannah are all sort of jockeying for like grabbing a couple of those and putting them to the side that night. So
how do you feel about Bitto Honey? Remember those?
I do remember those, and I strangely like Bitto Honey because like it has a good taste and it has like some nuts on the like inside of it too, which I'm always like, I'm not quite sure how that all goes together, but yeah, sure. Okay.
Old school. All right, let's get to the questions.
Right. All right, let's do it.
First question's been in the queue for quite a while, and I told Olivia we'd get to it, and then I missed it. So she says, hey, Mike, I've been a listener of this show for a few years and just love hearing you, Ricky, Scott, and Pam talk Disney. Thanks for all that you do. I do have a question that I have yet to catch the answer to on the podcast. It is something I have always wondered about. I know that the running listeners of the podcast are lizards, but I don't know why you guys are called lizards. Where did that name come from? Do y'all look like lizards while you're running? Do you guys like to eat bugs? Did you get bit by a radioactive lizard that gave you superpowers? I must know. Olivia from North Carolina. All right. So Olivia, and I apologize. This came in August and somehow I missed getting this answered. But the short answer is actually one of our listeners gave this idea to us. I think it was actually over a 12-hour live show we were doing for Give Kids the World. We used to be on the air for 12 hours straight. And we may do this again someday. I'm not committing to it right this second, but we may. It's just the last few years have been obviously chaotic in the village and all that stuff. We actually went to the village and did a show down there, which was awesome in the meantime. But we got this idea because, we have this running squad and we want to have something Walt Disney World related. And what do you see most times of the year down at Walt Disney World when you're walking around everywhere? You see those little like gecko lizards that are just scattered around your resort. Like you come out of your room, you might see them on the door or on a wall, but you see them on the ground, out by the bushes, on the paths. And here's the thing that we had this discussion on that call about. They're really cute, right? And they're plentiful. They're all over Walt Disney World and they're quick. You can't catch them. I mean, even if you tried, you can't catch them. And they're just something that when I see them, they remind me of Walt Disney World. And they're quick, they're non-aggressive, they're non-threatening, and they're a little Walt Disney World thing. Plus, just personally, I love the color that we put together. That green, it's called Volt.
Agreed.
We're easy to see at the races. We can find each other while we're out on the course. It looks good in pictures. You can get shoes and accessories that look awesome for your running gear. So that's kind of where it came from. So Pam, I mean, that's, we haven't been Now, a few of our teammates maybe have been bitten by radioactive lizards. I can't confirm or deny that. That could possibly have happened. Some of our teammates may like to eat bugs. I would not put that past them either. Not me, but I mean, a lot of these things could be true. I just can't confirm them.
It's true. And I will admit too, first of all, for a few years before I actually was successful, I kept telling my family I wanted to catch a lizard.
Me too.
And I kept trying. They're fast.
Yeah.
But one day by the pool, I was able to do it. He was sort of unsuspecting. I was laying there and was able to reach down and grab him. And then once I had him, I wasn't really sure what to do with him. But he was a lizard that we spent a lot of time together that day. He had like puffed out his throat and showed that brilliant red color. So, I mean, the lizards, they're a staple of Walt Disney World.
Well, see, because he was probably like me, right? Like right now with my knee, you could easily catch me. Like, I mean, I'm just one of those, like if years past, you'd have a little bit of trouble. Right now, I mean, like, somebody could swoop down and nab me like real quick and they just play with me by the pool all day. Like, and be like,
I grabbed him right behind his little front legs. That was the place to grab him. And he was surprised, but I think he was happy when I let him go.
Hang out. All right, Christopher Chabot has a question here in the live chat. Hey, Mike and Pam, important question. Just moved over to the Grand Floridian for the second leg of our anniversary trip. Happy anniversary, Christopher. Eating at the Grand Floridian Cafe tonight. Need your recommendation. What are the top 2 dishes my wife and I should split? I get the same. I mean, I get the same thing every day in my regular life. What am I saying? It's not any different. Grand Floridian Cafe, I always get the chicken because it is always so dang good. That chicken at the Grand Flo Cafe. But I have gotten, well, this is like a brunch thing, but I've gotten, I think it's the lobster burger.
The lobster thermidor burger. Yes.
Yeah, that thing is right home about. That thing rocks.
And they're both on the menu still.
Okay, I always get the chicken for dinner though. So I would definitely, and it's filling. I mean, that's a good thing to split. But Pam, what else would you say and I love Grand Floridian Cafe. Hidden secret.
So I think there's a salad too. It's an appetizer salad, but I like it. It has tomatoes and cheddar and I'm pulling up the menu here, but like a prosciutto, crispy prosciutto, and it has a good vinaigrette on it. So I really like that too. But Mike, I think, nailed the 2 big ones there, the fried chicken and the lobster thermidor burger. The other thing I will say is they have a meatloaf. Now, I have not had it, but, sometimes a meatloaf is really, really good. Like, I know that some people don't like meatloaf, and I'm always like, what's up with that?
I love meatloaf. Meatloaf is probably in the top 5 dishes in my whole My grandma used to make the best meatloaf. Like, I love it. It's prime time. I love it at the Plaza on Main Street.
Oh, yeah.
I love a good meatloaf. Yeah, I will order a meatloaf if it's there.
Yeah, I know. Maybe they were like, this seemed like a thing like when we were kids, right? There were other kids whose parents maybe didn't make great meatloaf. So,
I mean, if it's not good, you just drown it with ketchup and it's still good.
It's like a burger.
I mean, every once in a while, my grandma would be a little off and I just get the ketchup and just drown it. Because the grandma was awesome. I love her. Rest in peace, Grandma Rufus. I miss my grandma. All right, next question is from Sarah in the live chat. She says, how are you feeling about the virtual queue news for the Wine and Dine Expo announced today? To be honest, I'm feeling nervous about this update. I don't know, Spam, you probably read the news today.
Yeah.
Came out to the runners, but there's going to be a virtual queue instead of, I'm not going to wine. I haven't said anything, but I'm not doing Wine and Dine this year. I'm going to back out because of the knee issues. We also have a huge high school football game that Friday night, which we're undefeated this year. This is our best chance ever to win state. With the knee thing, I'm just don't want to push my luck. I want to make sure I can do dopey. So I'm going to sit this one out. But the line for the merchandise over the last couple of years has just been massive. If you're somebody that shows up right when it opens, now, I always roll in late, and a lot of times I'll miss out on some of the merch because of that, but I'm not a big merch guy. Like, I don't need the pins. I don't need the glasses. I'm just a guy that would like to get a t-shirt, maybe just a shirt that says Run Disney. So I'm not, I'm not like the hardcore merch guy, but they used to do this back in the day with the New Balance shoes. I remember joining a virtual queue, no doubt, driving through Atlanta on the way down, because we used to drive. I didn't used to fly. And in order to get those New Balance Run Disney shoes, it was like a 12-step process. No kidding. Like you had to join the virtual queue. Then you had to do the secret handshake with the person at Wide World of Sports. And they would, okay, they give you the secret wink. And then they would walk you around the back of the building to the third rock by the left. And there was like a secret door. Like, am I going to get knocked off or am I going to get a pair of sweet shoes here? I'll take the chance because they're cool. It was weird. But eventually I ended up with like a closet full of these shoes because Jocelyn one day was like at an outlet mall during church and texting me like, how many pairs do you want? I'm like, give me 7 because they're like $20 and I used to pay $200 for these things.
Right.
That was crazy. I'm like, God is going to look down at me because I'm answering a text about shoes during church. But she texted me. She's on the East Coast. She's texted me. We went to the late service that day in the Central Time Zone. My wife was totally eyeballing me that day. How do I feel about this? I think obviously it's going to be easier to manage for Disney. They don't want to have 5,000 people standing in a line complaining in the arena, which is where they usually have the merch for the Run Disney stuff. They'd rather have people just at 7:30 a.m. on the merch day go onto the app, get into the virtual queue, get your time, show up, show your code, walk in. I just think that this is going to be easier to manage for Disney, and I think it'll keep just everybody happier once you get past the initial stress of getting into the virtual queue. It's no different than the Rise was. What do you think, Pam?
Yeah, I understand the nervousness about this, I will say. I see actually both sides of this coin, right? As a person who is going to, you're going to get there right when it opens, when you're going to stand in line, regardless of it. It sort of feels a little unfair to those of you who are going to do that because now it's sort of the luck of the draw in a way, right? Isn't that what the virtual queue is? You either get in it or you don't. The other side of that is you're going to know fairly early whether you're in the virtual queue or where you are in the virtual queue. So hopefully it will save time, but you may not be there. If you're not one of the first ones to get in, there may be some merchandise that is not there. I see that. I mean, I totally get it, but they won't sell out of everything. There will still be something you can buy, hopefully. So,
well, like Eric said in the live chat, I mean, in general, the merch lines at Walt Disney World right now are kind of getting out of control. I mean, if you saw like the Epcot 40 merch lines, or think back, a few months back, the popcorn buckets for Figment. I mean, Disney, to me, when I saw this, I think Disney's looking at this as a test run for all future like big merch releases because I mean, I'm sure they don't want that line that they had out of like Creation Shop, at Epcot.
I know.
Like that's a bad look, and if they could just have people, basically you're virtually waiting in line at your hotel. You're waiting in line as you are riding Guardians of the Galaxy or
exactly
Magic Kingdom. That's better for Disney because you're out still spending money. You're out having meals. You're out enjoying yourself rather than, sitting there complaining about that you're standing in a line on social media.
I agree. It isn't a good look. And I hope that this will make it a little easier for some, if not everyone. But I know not getting what you want is challenging, especially when some of that merch is very sweet looking. So
it is. And the thing too is that I can't imagine you wouldn't get in to get a shot at some merchandise because they tend to have a lot of merchandise at these run weekends. You just might not get the time. The thing is, you're going to have to adjust when you go pick up your packet possibly because you may be planning on being there at, say, 10 o'clock in the morning because you're like an early, want to get it done and get moving on, where you join the virtual queue and it's like, okay, your time is 5:45 p.m. So then that could cause you a little strife. But I mean, then you're, so you don't have to wait. We'll see. I'll be excited to see what the feedback is. Hopefully
I agree.
Lizards. So we'll see. But nothing like springing that on us at the last minute, a couple weeks ahead. Let's see here. Tim's got a question. I'll throw out a question. I have a reservation for Beer Garden for Candlelight Processional to see Whoopi Goldberg. Technically, it's a reservation for 3, but I'm going solo. I can deal with that part, he says. I would rather eat at Spice Road Table, but waiting until the day of and risking it makes me nervous. Have you heard anything about how the same day reservations for Candlelight Processional will work? Pam, do you have any information on that for Spice Road?
We don't. In the past, so the same day, the walk up for Candlelight Processional, that line has started fairly early in the day. And sometimes some of the folks that get in for one show don't get in for the one that they're waiting for, right? And have to be bumped to the next show. I don't know what it will be like this year. And I hope, if you're not going during one of the first couple showings, if you can see what it's like, see what's happening in Disney World, how they're dealing with it, how they're dealing with the line, how they're dealing with the same day things, that may be something that works for you. And you can still keep your package until a couple days before and not risk any money. So that's really what I would do, Tim. Sorry, we don't have better info on that yet, but I'd hang tight a little bit and see how those first couple candlelight processionals go.
It's a good call. All right. And by the way, beer garden. I mean, even though I know you like Spice Road Table, and I can see where Spice Road Table, you could see that to be better as solo. But I've gone to beer garden solo. That's a weird place to go solo. I'll admit, beer garden. But I got sat with listeners of the podcast. Like they listened to the show because I was just introducing myself, and they're like, "Your voice sounds familiar." And we got talking about Disney, and I'm like, "Do you listen to Disney podcasts?" And they're like, "They said, yeah, they do." And and I had my pop socket on the back of my phone. And I said, "Do you listen to this one?" And they're like, "Yeah, we live." Like, "That's me." And they're like, "Oh my God, Mike." And so, yeah, it was fun. So then it was like, nigga naga, hoy, 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 or whatever, I can't remember what they say, but yeah, we were having a good time. So it was like, I was part of the family all of a sudden, like this family of 6 from Indiana or whatever. I was like the 7th. It was awesome. So you never know, Tim, you're pretty popular. So you could be right up there on stage. All right. Ashley's got a question. It says, Thanksgiving BBB question. Hey, we're taking our 5 and 3-year-old to Walt Disney World for the first time ever over Thanksgiving this year. We're going to the Magic Kingdom on Thanksgiving, and as of now, the early entry time is 8:30 and regular entry is 9 o'clock. I was able to get an 8 o'clock a.m. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique reservation. We are staying at Art of Animation, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to get to the Magic Kingdom that morning. I've heard minivans are amazing, but if we are unable to get one, what time should we be on the bus? Since it's Thanksgiving and we need to be in before early entry, I'm scared of getting stuck in long lines. Or if we are able to get a minivan, how early should we order it? Thanks for everything y'all do. She says, random. I know y'all love football, so you'd appreciate this. I work for the University of Alabama and got to take a stadium tour of Bryant-Denny the week before the Tennessee game. I'm pretty sure all of the superstitious people at work won't take another stadium tour. Roll Tide, Ashley. Okay, Ashley. Yeah, please don't do that again, and we shall never speak of that game up in Knoxville ever again. It just cost them a lot of money to buy goalposts and to pay the fine for rushing the field. Roll Tide. All right. So Pam, talk to them about getting there for this appointment and the ease of entry. They don't have to worry about lines with that appointment for Bibbidi Bobbidi.
Yeah, that's true. I like the whole transportation thing though is giving me like a little bit of, I don't even know, nervousness here.
Oh, it's an adventure. It's it's like it's your mini Thanksgiving Day parade. Basically.
Yeah, true. I think the minivans may be the way to go because they're one of the transportation options besides the buses that go from each resort that actually do drop you off right there at the bus drop-off area. So I think that's a great idea to try to get that. If you're not successful at getting a minivan, I would be trying to get on the bus as early as possible. Now, you will not have to wait in the line with everybody else going to into the parks that day, which is the good news. And the only people who get to get in early are the people who are staying at one of the official resorts. So that's another piece of good news, right? There should be an actual entry for guests who have Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique appointments and also dining that may occur before the park opens. So that's something that you can look forward to too. But I don't know, Mike, any other pieces of advice here?
No, I think that's good advice. I mean, you are going to be able to breeze through because you're going to have that separate line because you have the appointment at the touch point. So you won't have to worry about a line. But just, I mean, if you're going to take the bus, absolute first bus, like be out there
I
And
know.
just the night before, go down to the front desk and say, "What time do the buses start running?" It should be 90 minutes before park opening.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were saying get in line the night before. I'm like, well,
I
that's
mean,
gonna be a
or
challenge.
just pack some turkey, be ready. You could do
Sleeping bag.
I would go down to the front desk and ask, but I mean, it should be 7:30 or 7 because it should be 90 minutes prior to the park opening, which would be 8:30,
Yeah.
yes. So it should be 7 o'clock. So I'd be walking. This is just how I do my family. Just saying. Doesn't work because I have 2 daughters and a wife that don't care what I say really most of the time. And I get it because I blah blah blah. But I mean, I'd be like, we're leaving the room. It's 6:45. Because I know that means best luck. We're leaving the room at 7. But I would try to be out there at that first bus. And then if you're not going to take minivans, that will get you there in time. You'll be fine. Because
That's interesting. So how often does the we're leaving at this time get you people to be ready at that time?
never. But here's the thing: as a good dad, and I think a lot of the dads and maybe a lot of the moms out there will understand what you do is you build in after you gotta like learn your family, right? And so I just build in time. Like I said, if I want to leave at 7:30, I say, we're leaving the room at 7:15. I mean, we cannot be leaving the room later than 7:15. When in my heart, I know we just got to leave at 7:30. Because then then it's like, oh, sorry, we're 15 minutes late. I'm like, I won because actually we needed to leave at 7:30. But you got to figure that out, right? Or else because I hate being late. Like 5 minutes early is like on time for me. Like on time is like late. This is how I was brought up. I hate being late for anything. Even though they're still gonna take your money if you show up at 8:10 for that bibbity bobbity appointment. They're still
That's
gonna
true.
let you in, but you just don't wanna start the day off stressful, right? Thanksgiving's supposed to be eating turkey and stuffing and getting your hair all did, it shouldn't be stressful at
I
all.
get you.
So, all right, question here from Kevin in the live chat, and it says, do you think the massive changes Genie Plus, making it only same-day purchase, price increases, are a sign that they plan on scrapping it for a more efficient or guest-friendly version in the future? Absolutely. I think it's the actual opposite. I think that they're honing in on what they want the product to be. And I think that it's kind of settling in after about a year or so in operation. And I think Disney's kind of finding what they want this product to be, and it's getting closer and closer to final product. That's me. I don't know, Pam. What are your thoughts?
That's kind of how I lean too. I think it really gave them the option. I think the move to make it only same day purchase gives them the option to sort of implement that dynamic pricing structure, right? On days where it's more in high demand, they can charge more for it. On days when it's not so high in demand, they can charge less for it. The other thing was that they included at least for now, attractions that were individual lightning lane attractions as opposed to whatever that was supposed to stop in August, right? And it didn't. They extended that. So there's really only one individual lightning lane purchase per park at this point that you would have to purchase in addition to that. So it's a little back and forth. I know that some people write out there that Disney is trying to maybe cut back on the number of people that purchase it and therefore, raise the price at different times. I don't have any insider information on that. I don't feel qualified to pontificate on, all of the things going on behind the scenes, but I think they are really trying to, as Mike said, sort of hone that process and make it work for as many people while still having the flexibility to offer dynamic pricing for sure.
I mean, you know, here's just me on my soapbox. Like you can go to many other blogs, you can go to many other YouTube channels, you can go to a lot of podcasts, and you can hear negativity. Not all of them, because I tend to listen to a lot of Disney podcasts, and there are a lot of them that are definitely positive like us, and I love that. Those are the ones I tend to spend my time listening to. So I'm not saying that like we're the positive podcast. We tend to skew toward the positive because I don't like to put negativity out there, but we try to be honest. I mean, not everything's perfect with Genie Plus. I get it. I still haven't bought an individual lightning lane in my life because I just won't do it. I'll either wait and spend the time or I just won't ride the ride that day. But I mean, I can see where in certain occasions, like if I'm there with a first timer or I'm there with somebody that's only got limited time, I would buy an individual lightning lane. I just have
Mhm.
not had that circumstance arise for me yet. But Disney wants, and I truly believe this, they want positive guest outcomes with every family, every person that walks through the touch points. You cannot tell me that they don't want the guests to be happy throughout the day in a restaurant. They don't want the guests to be happy throughout the day when they're riding an attraction or when they're seeing a fireworks show at the end of the some people that I hear and I read, I swear they think that like the Disney wants the guests to be unhappy. And I just can't imagine that that would ever be the case. Now, does Disney want to turn a profit and make money? Yes, they're a for-profit company. So does Universal. So do I, as a small business person. I have to turn a profit so that I can pay my house bill, so that I can keep the electricity on, so I can do a podcast. This is how our society works. They want to make profits. Now, we could get into the whole thing, and I'm not going to do that today with, how much is enough, right? I mean, because I do have some, thoughts on that. I don't think, I think that eventually there is a point where enough is enough, but we are in a capitalistic society, and Disney's going to try to turn a profit. And the thing is, in a society like ours, the way things can happen is if rooms start being unsold, if theme parks start to see a decrease in attendance, that's where Disney's going to get the message that, okay, we've hit a tipping point. Like, we need to either increase what's being offered for the current price or decrease prices, because, we're not seeing people want to buy our product anymore. It's consumer demand. And right now, I mean, what we're seeing is demand is through the roof for their product. I mean, the rooms are just sold out. The theme parks are packed. The restaurants are hard to get ADRs. So what Disney's seeing is, what we're doing is, people are excited to enjoy the product. It's not perfect, but I mean, people are going, people are eating meals, people are sleeping in hotels. I mean, I don't try to get on a soapbox, but I mean, that is what we're seeing right now, Pam. I mean, that's just the facts is the facts right now.
It is. I mean, I think I consider us fairly intimately familiar with Walt Disney World and all the Disney destinations in general. And while we are well aware of the challenges that are out there in the parks and for people to attend and whatnot, I think at the end of the day, we really sort of feel that it's our responsibility to sort of help you navigate those challenges in a positive way. And that's where our positive spin comes from. I'm assuming that a lot of people listening to this podcast either like Disney or want to go there or whatnot. So we try to make that the focus of our podcast. There are so many podcasters out there who are so knowledgeable about the business side of it and the history of everything, and they're looking at it from that perspective, and I appreciate that as well. But this is the perspective that we're coming from, and we just want to help you find a way to deal with something that may be challenging, and that's why we present it in that positive thing. Having said that, I will also say that I've been in a position where I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of the leadership at Disney destinations and Walt Disney World and whatnot. And I can tell you that I'm always impressed that most meetings that we're at, what is of highest importance is the guest satisfaction, their cast satisfaction, all of those things. That point comes up all the time. And it's a part of their thread as a company. It's a part of their history. And I think that it's impressive with everything going on. That's always part of the conversation. And I respect that. So.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, they want everybody to be happy. I truly believe that. Now, they make bad choices sometimes for the hard part. I mean, because the thing is, we see it through a different lens than a lot of folks. I mean, we're moved by the smallest minute change. Like, we see that a character goes away and we freak out, because that character was special to us when we were 2 and when we were 4 and when we were 7. The main guest that's going down for that once in a lifetime trip doesn't even know like who Figment is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to see the latest character that's been in a movie that really their little son or their daughter just like sings the song, constantly, because they're seeing this character on Disney Plus, and there does need to be a balance there, because Disney they don't want to alienate us because I mean, my God, we have spent how much am I'm sitting in a banana suit right now podcasting. I have spent, a good portion of my life talking about the fun times I've had on Disney Cruise Line ships, at Walt Disney World, now at Disneyland, making memories and meeting friends from all over the planet because of this product. And I love it, but it's not perfect. I get it. I mean, I wish the cast members got paid more. I wish that this and that and this and that. There's a lot of things, but I think that truly they're trying to make it happen. They're doing what they can. Can they do more? Absolutely. Can I do more as a person? Absolutely. I think everybody's always trying to do more. But let's get to it, because before my blood, because I do love the product, and I like I don't want people coming down on me because if I'm going to spend all this time in my life, and do 5 shows a week about something, I want to talk about the positive. I don't want to.
Yes, exactly. You don't want it to be a podcast about stuff you hate every week. You want to talk about, there's so many things that you can focus on, and Disney Destinations is included in this. We choose to focus on the positive stuff. That doesn't mean we don't know that there's negative stuff going on, but this is what we're choosing to focus on. And my gosh, this was our little soliloquy on this subject here today, right?
I'm a Mizzou fan. If I want to be miserable, I just go to my football game on Saturday, and then I'm miserable till the next week. I mean, we barely beat Vanderbilt this Saturday. I mean, I was happy. We were up 17-0. It was all good. I tell Pam, got to use the restroom before we drive home, because it's like a 2.5-hour ride home from Columbia to our house. I had the big old stadium size souvenir cup, because we hadn't had a souvenir cup this year. Coke Zero. And I'm like, okay, so going, dude, they scored 2 touchdowns while I was in the bathroom. I'm like, it's 17-14. We're going to give this game away. There's like 5 minutes left. I mean, I got negativity all over me. I don't need it with this. Like, Mizzou gives it to me on a weekly basis. I love my school.
Pam was probably like wishing that you weren't coming back from the bathroom when that was happening.
I played the whole way home. Like, how do we almost lose to Vanderbilt? Like, it turned to win. We won the game 17-14, but it felt like a loss. I'm like, sorry if we have any Vandy fans. Max, let's get to this question, because Max is one of our great agents over at the Magic for Less. Awesome on speaking of social media, kills it on social media.
Right.
He says, if I want to get the best margarita on property, which I need one right about now, because I feel like I'm running through my little banana here costume, not at the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot, where am I going? So where do you go, Pam, to get your margarita fix outside of Mexico and Epcot?
Interesting. There's a couple good places. So, and this is based on, I think, what my husband really enjoys. First of all, there's a margarita at the Nomad Lounge that is really good. It has like I want to say it has like a grapefruit flavor, and there's like little seeds or something, peppercorns or something in it, right? That's supposed to be really good. So he likes that one. I will also say that the one at Oga's Cantina is a good one to get too. It has, some different flavors in it as well. I'm trying to think, Mike, you're our big margarita person. I was thinking what you were going to say is the Flight.
Yeah, I always get the Flight at Maya Grill. That's my favorite, because you get those 4. And the one that I really like there at Maya Grill is the jalapeno margarita.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The classic there is super good though too. And somebody asked me, I can't remember, like it was on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram somewhere, about my favorite fajitas on property. And that is also at Maya Grill, because Maya Grill kills fajitas with the margarita Flight. I am just in heaven. So that's, Maya Grill is where I would go get a Flight. And then, what Scott does, because we obviously go there a lot together, he gets the Flight, and then we pick the one we like the best out of the Flight. Now they give you that white one that's made with people say it's
like a horchata. Yeah.
A White Russian or something. I don't know. That's not my favorite, but the other ones are really good. Like the like mango ones, super rocking. So then we'll just get a full size, with the regular one.
Yes.
Definitely like this. It's good though, my girl. And that's what Michelle says also in the live chat, which is rocking. Okay, Carolyn's got a comment here. Says, hey, Mike and Pam. Carolyn from Delaware. I started listening to your podcast in May after our first Disney trip in April, and I needed to nurse my Disney hangover. We're talking about margaritas and hangovers. Is it Cinco de Mayo or is it Halloween? I don't know. She says, which was fierce. We're totally hooked. I love to hear your tips and stories. It's a bright spot of my week. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We're planning to go back next April and check out Oga's at Hollywood Studios for my husband's birthday, but wondering what it's like for kids. We have 2 fun-loving 7-year-olds, but wasn't sure if Oga's appeals to an older crowd since more of a bar atmosphere. Thanks again. Okay, here's the deal. Greedo will shoot first. It's 7-year-olds. So just have your kids have the blaster on the hip and just be ready. And just shoot. No, just kidding. It's awesome for kids. DJ Rex spins it up for everybody. Everybody loves Ogas. Yeah, it's fine for their families.
I agree. We've seen so many kids there. And I think too, one of the things I encourage everyone to do, whether you're a kid or an adult, once you order and you have your spot, take a little walk around because there's things to see. And absolutely, DJR 3X, you're going to want to stop and see him and get up close. I think that's a cool feature. There's lots of different like lights and nooks and crannies going on there at Oga's. I think it's a fun thing. And I think that everyone who is familiar with Star Wars really sort of enjoys that experience. So yeah, it's for everyone.
And I think the kids really enjoy because obviously they have the non-alcoholic drinks, but they look cool. Like
yeah.
You can get a like a fuzzy tauntaun that obviously non-alcoholic, but I mean it'll still steam or smoke or whatever. And certain things happen within the bar itself every half hour or so, and then the lights all flash and the bartender everybody I can't remember what the chant was when I was in there the couple times, but there's like a chant that everybody picks up on, and it's just it's cool. And then the next time you watch the Star Wars movies, your kids will have that connection. Like, I mean,
yes.
That's the cantina. I was there. It's on
yes.
It's close. All right, last question of the day. Man, today's show went too quickly, but it's from Katie. And she says, hi, Mike, Pam, Scotty G, Riley, Ricky, and Baby Niblet. Dude, we're getting everybody in. We got the dog.
Got them all.
We got Ricky's baby, Scotty G, who's just back from NYC. Going to the dentist,
right? Were they going 24 hours a day? They did so much.
Oh, dude, I told him, man, I couldn't do New York City like that. Like, even though I do want that I guess they're called slices in New York City.
Yeah, you got to grab a slice.
Yeah, but he had a piece of pizza that he put on Facebook, and it was like all different, like Italian colors, like red, green, white. I need that piece. I've been thinking about that piece of pizza ever since he posted it, and I haven't had a chance really to talk to him about it because, like, he just got home today. He was, the first day you're back, it's like you're in a fog, and then he had to go to the dentist. And obviously, today's Emily's actual birthday. Happy birthday, Emily! She's 15. It is we're recording, so yeah, I got to talk to him about that slice. But yeah, they went nonstop, so we'll talk about that Sunday night. Anyway, back to Katie. Sorry, Katie. I'm thinking about booking the afternoon 12:30 Wild Africa trek for the Saturday of Dopey. I'm about a 135 to 140 half marathon person. That means she's really fast. And I should be in the first or second corral. So I think that'd give me enough time, but I'm a little nervous. What do you think? Cutting it too close? Thank you for all you do for your daily dose of positivity. We spend countless miles together with you in my ears, and I love the community you guys have built. I forgot to say we're saying a pop and definitely want to go back and shower for the sake of the animals. You know what? The animals may stink and they may think you smell good if you don't shower.
That's true.
Shower optional. I flew home on an airplane after Dopey one time. I mean, the other animals on that Southwest plane didn't appreciate that. I promise you that. But it was mostly my family in the same row. So too bad. Okay, so if you're running the half marathon on that Saturday at a 135 clip and you're one of the first couple of corrals, you're going to be done by 8.
Oh, and you're going to Mike do math. Did you see him?
Dude, yeah, Joe, no, you're going to be so good. You're going to be able to have time to take a nap. So you would not only be able to take a shower, you could take a nap if you want and still you will make it easy by 12:30. Yeah, I mean, because if she's running the marathon, even if you do a 2-hour, say the race starts at 6, 2 hours, 8, ride the bus back to Pop. I'm giving it an hour to get back. It won't take that long. 9, take a shower. 10, get on a bus over to Animal. Yeah, tons of time. Easy. So easy. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think too, the luck that I know you want to go back and shower, but if you had to, if something disastrous happened and you had to eliminate that step, then you can, that's what you do, I guess.
Yeah, but you're totally fine. The thing is, here's the dirty little secret about Run Disney races. And this is why I always try to get a good corral if I can. if you can run fast, and I've done this a few times, the knee is totally hosing me on this right now, is that if you can run fast and finish towards the front of the pack in these races over marathon weekend, it makes the rest of the day easy, because the thing is, you can get your medal real quick at the end of the race. There's not many people around. You go get your post-race picture. There's nobody waiting in line for those pictures. And you can go immediately to your bus to get back to your hotel. There's not a long line for those either. You can sit down right on your bus, boom, you're back at your hotel. If you're a back of the packer, like I'm probably going to be, and I've been many times, everything is congested at the end of the race. Like, it takes a while to get your medal. It takes a long time to get your post-race picture. It takes a little bit of time to get your nutrition box. And then the line for the buses to go back to your hotel can be quite lengthy. But you're going to avoid all that if you're running like a 140 half. You're going to be golden. You're just going to express pass right back to the pop. So have a good time on that tour and let us know how it goes. All right. Well, hey, Pam, good show today. Lots of good questions and a little soapbox in the middle.
I know, right? I like these kind of shows. I mean, we don't get a chance so often to do some of that, but I think it explains a little bit about where we're coming from as a podcast too, the things that we find important. So sharing it.
Put on the banana suit and all of a sudden just opinions spout out like banana goo right out of my mouth here. So anyway, we are going to be back on Friday. Actually, Friday, we're going to have the trip report that we normally have on Monday. We're going to do a little flip-flopping. So Friday, we're going to have the trip report with our special guest. So stay tuned for that. And then the Friday normal show is going to come out on Halloween Day, because we're going to have some Halloween fun on the podcast to get you ready for trick-or-treating around your neighborhood. Remember, look up Pam, do a little sleuthing. She's going to have full-size candy bars. We talked about it earlier. All right, no kidding. So we are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. No tricks, all treats at the Magic for Less. Check them out. Next time you're headed to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, even Adventures by Disney, we are standing by to help you have a magical experience. Now, here's the thing. The magical experience doesn't start when you land at MCO. Now, that's pretty cool. You get to get on that first monorail ride from your terminal over to the main baggage place, and then you got to figure out how you're going to get to the actual resort. That's not where the magic starts. The magic starts in the planning. And I always tell my guests this. The planning, if you think about that as part of the trip, that makes the trip not 7 days or 4 days or 5 days. It makes your trip extend for 9 months. It can be fun as you plan the trip. That's what we try to do for our guests. You're going to get little emails telling you, hey, think about this, memory maker that could make sense for you. You're going to want to remember those. You're taking a toddler. You want to remember those memories. It only happens one time when they're that age. What about, hey, God help us if, a medical situation pops up. We email you tips so you have all the numbers you may need during your trip, so that if something were to happen, we hope that never does, you have an email. You can refer back to that and you have all the information you might need to resolve that situation, lickety split, and take care of you right there. All those kind of things get you ready to have success and to make amazing memories during your trip. So check out the Magic for Less. Swing by the website, themagicforless.com. While you're there, fill out that free, no obligation quote form. We'll take care of you from there. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. The one extra click really does help us out as we move into the holiday season and you start to pick up those holiday shopping gifts. Please do use it as often as you can. That really does help us during the holidays. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to our patrons. You guys make it happen. You guys support us each and every month. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Pam a follow on the social media at TMFLT Pam, Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike and would love to talk to you this week as well on Instagram and Twitter. And that's about it. We'll be alive on Sunday night. Scott's back from New York City. He ate all the slices, saw all the shows, walked through all the Central Park, and apparently ate all the Nathan's hot dogs. I don't know. We'll talk to him on Sunday night real quick about his trip, and we'll take your calls and talk all things Disney. The phone lines will be open Sunday night, YouTube and Facebook. Join us at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be waiting for your call. So until we get back together again on Friday for a trip report and on Monday for Halloween with Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to get back to work, and we'll see you real soon. Let me save this real quick. Who is texting?
It was me. I asked Ricky to delete.
Oh yeah. That's good. Da, 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 da. Let me get this in the right directory for once. Our Guest Podcast episode. I can't type in this thing. 2178. Edited. I appreciate Tanja. Thank you for letting me book your trips. It means a lot. Carolyn, thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening in and being here. I just love you guys listening to our show. It means a lot. I love doing this show. Seriously, I love it.
Agree.
It makes Mondays fun. Mondays are crazy because it's the busiest day at the travel agency, but I don't know why. Pam and I always talk about this. Why do we do the shows on Mondays? Because it's the busiest day for travel agents because everybody gets together with family over the weekends. And then like, okay, on Monday when I go to work, I'm not going to work. I'm going to email my travel agent and have them modify or book my trip.
Yeah.
We get it. We do the same thing.
I know. I think that's what happens then too. Sometimes people meet with like the family, like if they're doing an extended trip, like on the weekends, they saw each other, they sort of talked about it, and then they got back to us.
Yep. Like Thanksgiving, like everybody gets together.
Exactly.
We should go to Disney. Oh wait, is Ricky coming in? Is she all available? I didn't text her.
I don't know. I just texted about the spam.
They're saying it's going to start raining here tonight and rain for like 36 hours straight, which we need. We haven't had rain in forever.
Really? We had some, and then we had snow at one point last week, so that was weird.
Dang, that's early. Thank you, Tanja. Yeah, Mondays, it does give you something fun to look forward to because this is always my playing. Obviously, I'm sitting here in a banana suit. Like this is my, like, you know, every guy I think has like their fun thing. Like I do have a Pac-Man, like a little Walmart Pac-Man machine over there. That's my other toy. But the podcast is like my toy. I don't have a fancy car. You know, I don't play golf. I podcast.
Right? Yeah, I know. Steve doesn't golf either. And
actually,
that's what he said. Like he can't do it because of his back. But then he also said it takes so long. Like it takes a long time to play a round of golf.
It takes forever and it's expensive. Like to be good at it, you just have to keep playing. Like you can't play sporadically and be good at it. Like you have to play a lot. And I don't have the time and I don't want to invest that kind of money. Da, 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 da. Oh, I'm your father. Where's Ricky?
Yeah, I went to see the new Halloween movie. Isn't that funny? At the theater.
Ends. Yeah. I do not like scary movies.
No.
All.
That's funny.
Paige loves them. Like she's loved them since she was little because her aunt, like Pam's sister Donna, loves scary movies and like they would watch them together when she was growing up. Not me, man. I remember watching Poltergeist when I was a kid on cable because it was like, you know, like, for some reason we must have like free cable for just like a little bit because we never had movie channels. But I do remember for like a brief time we had HBO. And back then it was like such a big deal. Like I just remember like that logo would come on like home box office. And Poltergeist was one of the movies. Because you remember, I mean, you probably do. You remember like you used to get like a little paper like TV guide, but it was just for the movie channels.
Oh yeah. It came like in the mail. It was yes.
Big. So you would get that and you'd look through there and like we had the movie channels over like a month or something. And I just remember I watched all the time and Poltergeist was on. That movie still to this day freaks me out. Like that tree outside the kid's bed.
That tree was a really scary part.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. A tree that eats you. Yeah. You think?
I've always liked scary movies though too. It doesn't, stick with me or anything. I'm not really scared of it. Yeah. During
that
Halloween.
Might be the only scary movie I've ever seen, to be honest. I don't think hang on, I'm gonna tweet real quick. I don't think I've ever seen another scary movie.
Wow. That one was scary. That tree, yes, especially. And how about the fact that who was the dad? Oh, Craig T. Nelson was the dad
Yes,
in that.
yes. Coach. I know he was on some other show. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Come be a part of the fun while we wait for Ricky. Facebook on the Our Guest Podcast. BOGP Disneyland. Disney Cruise. TVC. Disney Vacation. Love Yes, Magic Kingdom. Florida podcast. We ready? We ready? I gotta close Twitter. Distracts me. What's up, Ricky?
Hey guys,
Hi.
how are you?
Good.
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 I'm glad to hear that.
My head keeps
I
hitting
think
the
I
boom.
took care of what you needed me to take care of, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, yeah. I think I got this. So.
Oh my gosh, Tanja, we answered that question for the Wednesday show just about 10 minutes or probably right before you came in. But I think it is what it is. I just don't think they don't want people lining up because that line was just getting out of control. And I think they're testing it for all the future merch releases because it's getting nuts. But we shall see.
Oh, I'm like, why do I hear you guys twice? Okay, that explained why. I had I had the YouTube channel up as well.
You have us playing at the same time. Yeah,
I did. I'm like, why am I hearing things that I already heard?
But we shall see how that goes. The only thing is, like now, Tanja, you don't have obviously control of when you go through to get your merch if you're willing to get there super early and line up. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yes.
You also won't have to stand in that stupid line in the arena, which is pretty brutal. Back and forth, back and forth. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're talking about. Wait, what did I say?
I don't know. What are we doing?
Hang on. What legit scares us at Walt Disney World? So it can be literal, like an attraction that really does freak us out, or
your face.
Here's two of mine, and you cannot steal them.
Dang it.
Being put in the backside of the 90s at Pop Century.
Oh my God.
Or my phone battery being at 12% at 10:32 a.m.
Those would definitely be scary things for you.
No, just, I mean, legit scary things. It doesn't matter. This is just fun because it's gonna come out on Halloween day. Because I'm flip flopping the shows.
Got it. Okay. Sounds like a plan.
We can talk about.
Sounds like a plan.
Tanja loves your outfit. That is very Halloweeny. That's
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't see. Is it like Halloween prints or like?
Yeah, it's Mickey ghosts and Mickey bats and Mickey pumpkins. And
there you go.
It's you, man. You always have the Disney dress.
Well, I had it shipped to my house, and because it was actually a Loungefly dress, and then I learned that I was pregnant, and it doesn't actually fit me anymore. So
I'm like, I'm not going to ask because I can't. I'm not allowed to.
It's not exactly fitting correctly, but I have it so that it hopefully looks like it fits correctly.
You know what I mean? You only got to see, like, that's the trick about podcasting. Like right here, like this banana only goes down.
So that's that. I was gonna wear it to the parks for Halloween, and then I am very pregnant now, so it does not fit me anymore. I'm hoping that when I go back to not being pregnant, it will fit me. Otherwise, well, I bought a dress for no reason.
Yeah, it'll be fine later.
I hope so. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to be taking it to some sort of tailor and having them adjust this so that this will fit me in the future.
Lisa says she didn't know that Loungefly made.
I did not know either. I think I got served an ad on Facebook. Thanks, Facebook ads. And it showed up as like I saw some sort of dress or something. It was some sort of Disney dress. I'm like, oh, Loungefly makes dresses. And so then I went and I looked, and they had this one, and it was on clearance. And so I was like, and I'm purchasing it. So yeah, I did, and then I found out I was pregnant. So
here's the thing too.
No, I was supposed to go to the Halloween party in August, and I did not feel good in August, so I did not go to the Halloween party. So I bought this for that, and oops.
Funny.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I can hopefully wear it for the podcast. At least I can, since Mike said we're doing Halloween.
Yeah,
I was like, let me at least see if I can zhuzh it so it looks like it fits me. So that's what I did.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect podcasting. Guys.
I can hardly see out of this thing, so there we go. Okay,
and I had the ears, so I found them in the closet when I was looking. I was looking for the dress, and I'm like, hey, look, ears, perfect.
I got headphones that are here.
Nice, that's awesome.
Oh, this thing's hot.
So yeah, if you're looking for dresses, Loungefly apparently makes dresses.
So by the way, when I listen to podcasts, whenever a brand gets mentioned in a podcast that I'm listening to, like on the treadmill running, like I will get served. You cannot tell me that Instagram doesn't.
Oh no, they do.
Because I get served ads. Like I've never typed that in ever, and I'll get served.
Sorry, enjoy your Loungefly ads now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So now you get them.
You're welcome.
Here we go. This is Halloween Day. Yay! We got one coming out of the actual holiday. That's fun. So Monday. Here we go. Wait, this will be 2181 then, I think. Yeah. Let me make sure I got the notes right. Here, 2181. Here we go. Happy Monday, everybody, and happy Halloween and boo to you. Welcome to the Our Guest Podcast. I am your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior pumpkins over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Halloween to you. We are here. The crew is here on Halloween Day. That's right. Of course, we flip-flop the Friday and the Monday show. So on Friday, you got the awesome Trip Report podcast, which I hope you enjoyed. But the crew's assembled here to get you kicked off for Halloween Day so that you are ready to go trick or treating around your neighborhood this evening. And remember, Pam's neighborhood. That's where you go. We talked about that on Wednesday, just in case you forgot. All right, today we're going to have some Halloween fun and talk about places and things around Walt Disney World that legitimately scare us. And we may be a little tongue-in-cheek, but we may be true to this. So we'll see how this show goes. But we just want to have some fun here on Halloween Day, one of the most fun days of the year. And you know what? I'll talk about a teacher story here as we get started, but let me get the ladies introduced. Joining us from the mouseforless.com. She's looking very festive in her Halloween dress. We have Ricky. Ricky, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And I hope you guys enjoyed the little trip I took down to Walt Disney World this weekend. So surprise. So yeah, you guys don't know as of recording of this, but I'm headed down to Walt Disney World, or I was in Walt Disney World over the weekend. So I hope I had fun. But I didn't get to stay through Halloween, which makes me sad. Because one of the best things is actually being in the parks on Halloween. It's actually a lot of fun to be there. I mean, I know I wouldn't have gone to the Halloween party either way, but getting to do that on Halloween, and there's some other kind of spooky things to do on Halloween as well at Walt Disney World that are fun to do kind of on Halloween. But yeah, I hopefully had a really nice time at Walt Disney World. I know we're gonna try. Brian has made us reservations for the character breakfast at the Four Seasons, so we're gonna go try that out, which I'm excited about. So yeah. So
you brought up actually a good thing I want to ask is, so if you were there today, if you would have been able to extend the trip and you could have done one kind of Halloween thing outside of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yes.
Because you said there were things you might like to do. Like, what would that be? Maybe throw that out there for somebody that might.
Well, I mean, this is one thing that actually makes this list. So I guess I'll kind of start off with one of mine to begin with, I guess, even though we haven't introduced Pam, but we'll get there. Sorry, Pam. So one of mine actually that really does make this list, but is perfect for Halloween, is Tower of Terror. So actually, if you, I have reasons for Tower of Terror not being something that scares me. But the reason why you want to ride this attraction on Halloween is because the tower actually got struck by lightning on Halloween. So that's
I thought it was on my birthday.
No, it's on Halloween. So
that's interesting.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I'll explain why this one scares me later, but I wanted to throw in there that this is one that does scare me. So
that works.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get Pam introduced. Pam Forrester, Coder, the Magic for Less Travel distributor of full-size candy bars in less than 12 hours out
Nicely
in the
done.
greater Pittsburgh area. If you can find her, Pam, happy Halloween boo to you.
Happy Halloween. So here's the thing. If you show up at my house, you're getting some kind of treat, right?
I hope so.
But the thing is, I will say that I do reserve some special treats for people who have clearly put time and effort into their costume.
Nice.
I really truly do like that, and they'll get like an extra piece of candy or something, whatever. But I'm like of the belief that there are some folks who maybe don't put as much effort into their costume. I'm still giving them something, but
you're not giving them as much.
Well, but I think I'm not one of those people too who's like, if you're too old to be trick-or-treating. I don't think anyone.
No, there is that social media post that goes around this time of year, and it's changed my philosophy on that, right? Like, because I used to be like, oh, dude, these kids are 15 and they're out trick-or-treating. Like, what are they doing? Like, giving here. But then I saw a social media post and it's like, look, these kids are they're 15 and they're still getting out there kind of enjoying a childhood activity, and they're not like stealing the hubcaps off your car.
Also true, yes. Or egging your house.
They're not robbing a bank, So then I was like, oh, that's true. So I will give them candy.
That part's nice. Yes.
That's a good point, Pam. I like that.
All right. So Pam, like, what is your threshold? Like, can a store-bought costume be considered as extra special, or does it have to be like something homemade, or what is your like caliber? Do you have one?
So there's a couple things. Yes, a store-bought costume can be.
Okay.
For me, my heart melts when you have a kid who's like really excited about his or her costume, and they're like, I'm like, oh, look, it's like Cinderella, and they'll be like, I know, here's my wand, I have the dress, do you want to see me twirl? Like, I'm like, yes, take all my candy.
Okay, got it.
Or like, I'm like, oh, you're a scary whatever, and then they go into that too.
That's good. All right, I was just curious.
I do love Halloween, because when I was a kid, a lot of times I had asthma really bad. In many years, I was in the emergency room it was weird. It was always on Halloween night, because when the leaves would fall, then it would rain and it would get moldy. Yes. And I always had a reaction to that. And I'd always have to go in and have like an albuterol treatment or something. I missed a bunch of Halloweens. So now as a kid, that's why I'm dressed up like a banana as I podcast. I'm still catching up. So I do like, just like Pam said, I love when the kids come around and they're so excited to show off their big fake muscles or their crowns or their props that they have. And it's a really happy, I know some people like just kind of down on Halloween, but I think it's a great idea. You get to dress up and get candy. What's bad about that? And it's also very communal. I mean, because we just moved to our neighborhood 3 years ago, and it's fun seeing the neighbors that you might not know.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I mean, I'm gonna look forward to like I give out candy every year. Oh well, actually, I give out Little Debbie snacks because
I love Little Debbie. Oh, by the way, let me just stop you there. So I eat a Little Debbie every night before bed, like Nick Saban. He has Little Debbie cakes in the morning, but I have a Little Debbie snack before bed. So I've been eating their fall cakes.
Yes.
Lately, right. Okay. Our store, on our last grocery run on Sunday, no longer has fall cakes, but you know what I'm eating now because this is what they replaced them with?
What?
Christmas trees.
Oh,
what's wrong with that? Like Dude, it's
Okay,
not even
you win.
Halloween.
No. Because do you know how
Christmas
much
tree.
people? First of all, do you know how much people love the Christmas trees? Like that's like a thing.
I love them too, but not in October.
I mean, all right. I don't think
Come
people
on,
have a
it's not gonna be
preference.
special. I mean, I'll be eating like the candy hearts by Thanksgiving.
That's
I'm
true.
getting way ahead. I'm getting way out of whack.
This is true.
Right,
No, the thing that I have been enjoying, which has been bad for me, is Little Debbie makes they're basically like Swiss cake rolls, but they're pumpkin spice rolls. Oh my goodness, I can down those suckers right now. Like that's like one of my pregnancy cravings. Like those little
You're eating for two, so eat 5 of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, I'm fine. Yeah. But like those little Swiss cake rolls that are pumpkin spice, they are so delicious, and they're like filled with so much like of the cream inside. Like it's really, really good. I really love those. So like that's been my thing. So I went and I bought I went and bought a bunch of stuff on sale. So I have all that to give away for Halloween today, but they're all like Little Debbie snacks because for me it's cheaper to give out Little Debbie snacks than to go buy Halloween candy. So I'm like, here's your Halloween themed Little Debbie snack. Enjoy. You'll like this probably better anyway. So
I have a theory though. I don't think kids, because I used to get Little Debbie's in my lunch when I was a kid, the Swiss rolls.
yeah.
And I ate them and they were good, but I didn't appreciate them when I was a kid. Now
You appreciate them.
I've rediscovered Little Debbie.
Yes.
But that just shows I'm getting old. Like,
I know.
So many things that that are cool now that weren't cool.
Can I also mention the irony?
Yeah, go ahead.
The irony of you dressed up as a banana and you're allergic to bananas.
Man, yeah, dude. Somebody touches me with a banana, I'm in the hospital.
Can I just like mention the irony of this? Like,
I didn't even think about that. I could be dead by the end of the show.
You could be. It's been nice knowing you.
Yeah, I gotta have my EpiPen standing by as I podcast because this could get, all of a sudden I could be just like the size of a meatloaf.
I love it.
Okay, so today's topic, we're having fun on Halloween. There's your Halloween stories. I'm not even telling my teacher Halloween stories, but I will say real quick. People think the kids the day after Halloween, like I've always heard, if you're a teacher, you don't want to teach the day after Halloween because the kids are going to be just crazy. Honestly, what I found, Halloween day, it's fun because you get, like, I love the Halloween. I did a show last week about parties in elementary schools growing up. And I loved as a teacher doing the Halloween party, the Christmas parties. I love that stuff. Like that was one of the fun things. Some teachers hated it. They would take off those days and have subs because they hated the parties so much. But I loved them because we had fun. But Halloween day as a 6th grade teacher was like, you could be killed that day because like the kids were crazy hyped to go trick-or-treating and everything the rest. It was a struggle just to get to the party. But the day after Halloween, everybody thinks it's terrible on teachers. It really never was. The kids are always so exhausted.
That's true.
Because they stayed out late, they trick-or-treated, they ate all the sugar, and they're coming down the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, November 1st was cake. Like those kids were whooped. It wasn't as bad as people think. So if you're a teacher, November 1st, not bad.
I can see that because they're all hyped up about Halloween and going out on the 31st. Yeah.
Strap in for Halloween day itself today. Good luck, teachers. A lot of schools have gotten smart. It's like a PD day, right? So like kids don't come, the teachers do professional development, everybody wins. Anyway, let's get to today's topic. We're 11 minutes in. So what legitimately scares us around Walt Disney World? And I'm going to lead us off. Okay. So, and this could be a little tongue in cheek, but I mean, there's a slight tinge of honesty on this too. One of the things I was thinking about this topic as I was walking Riley earlier this afternoon, I was thinking about one of the things that legitimately scares me when I go to Walt Disney World is that when I check into Pop Century for a race weekend like Dopey, which I'll be down there in January, ready to run my 48.6 miles, is that I get a room assignment and it's on the backside of the 90s. Because then, dude, I'm already running 48.6 miles. Now I'm walking another mile to get to my tie-dye cheesecake and my Coke Zeros, and I'm walking 3/4 of a mile to get to the Skyliner. I don't need that kind of bad mojo. No, those buildings are fine, but that's legitimately kind of a nightmare that I have for Dopey weekend. Otherwise, I wouldn't care. But I do not want to be on the backside of the 90s for Dopey. That scares me. It terrifies me. It's horrific for that weekend. So there we go. But here's the thing. One time I did get that room assignment, and it was on the 4th floor, and I got there late at night, and it was kind of storming. And it was like 10 o'clock at night because my flight got in late, and I went around. I was like, oh, finally I'm in my room. At least I'll have a bed. I turned the corner. Boom, it was Goofy with a chainsaw.
Yes!
This doesn't get any worse. And there he was.
Oh, yay. I'm glad that continues.
Yeah, you knew we had to do it.
Yeah.
All right, Ricky, what legitimately scares you for Walt Disney World?
All right, so I'm going to go on with my Tower of Terror answer. And it's not because Goofy is standing there with a chainsaw. But actually, this is one of the attractions that I legit like cannot ride. And it makes me sad because it's one of the coolest attractions I think that Walt Disney World has. So like it's a sad scare. Because like legit the going up and down the dropping, it terrifies me. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, there you go. I'm not a big fan of like that dropping feeling. I hate it. It's not one of my favorite things, especially I think we talked about recently. I don't like that you can't know how many times you're gonna fall. That part really like freaks me out a lot. If I can at least have control over it, like I do with, Rise of the Resistance or going over to Hagrid's, I at least know, okay, I've only fallen once here, so like I can prepare myself. But that fear of the unknown of how many times am I going to fall and have my stomach lurched up and down, that is a legit fear because I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to fret about how many times I'm going up and down. I just no, I'm out. So like it makes me very sad because I think that Tower of Terror is one of the best attractions that Walt Disney World has to offer. I can't ride it because I legit am fearful of how many times I'm going to fall up and down. So
it is absolutely one of the best attractions there, and it can be scary, and you do have kind of a loss of control when you don't know how many times you're going to bounce, and then you could be sitting next to Goofy with a chainsaw.
Yes, exactly.
We're
never going to get old at that.
I think it's funny. Probably nobody else does.
No, but we do. It's all good.
All right, Pam, help us, please. What legit scares you at Walt Disney?
So this is actually one of the most stressful things for me. So on the trips where we haven't rented a car, or we have rented a car, but we're going to the Magic Kingdom in the morning, and we have plans to be there like before park opening and whatnot. When we're there by the bus stop, okay, waiting, I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, when is the bus coming, right?
Yes.
Is it delayed for any reason? I have Steve here with me. He doesn't like riding the buses to begin with. We're not in the car. He's already thinking to himself, why didn't we drive the car? I'm like, no, the buses are the way to go. We'll beat the car. Even if we drove the car, we'll beat it by riding the bus. And then the whole time I'm second guessing myself. Yeah. Are we going to beat it? Are we not? Am I going to hear about this after whatever? But it's like stressful, like at that point for me. I'm kind of, thinking about what it is. Now, there's a little tongue in cheek because Steve, although he'll do a little grumbling, maybe, he's not going to like hold this over me the rest of the day, but it is stressful for me because I want that to go well. Like I want him to have like a good experience. I'm always like trying to deliver that perfect vacation experience. Right. So
it's funny because, and I totally get that because you're like, am I making the right transportation?
Right.
I've done studies, like 17% of our listener questions deal with transportation issues at Walt Disney World. Should I take the Skyliner? Should I monorail? Should I take minivans? Should I take an Uber or Lyft? Should I do, should I fly Southwest? Whatever. We're like the transportation experts. I mean, we could be like on the president's cabinet, for transportation secretary at some point because we've figured it out at this point. But the weird thing is I was down there with you guys last year. I was standing there with you and Steve and you guys are going back and forth. Like, you kept telling Steve, it's going to be fine. Like the bus will be fine. We don't have to ride the car. The car's way out on the other side of the parking lot. And it was kind of a sigh of relief because, you see all those, we're going to the Magic Kingdom. Right. See, Animal Kingdom bus. You got to be kidding me. Oh, Typhoon Lagoon. Nobody's going to Typhoon Lagoon. It's 45 degrees. What? Right. And so, like, everybody's all, boom, Magic Kingdom bus. We see it turn the corner. It comes into our stall. And the driver, it's Goofy with a chainsaw. I'm like, what?
I knew it was coming. He's going to throw it in every single one of these, isn't he? Roar!
It was so weird. Okay, my second one, and this is legit that everybody can relate to. It is a primal fear. I'm telling you, so strap in, people. This is a fear that we didn't have a decade ago. This is a new fear that, just think like back in like the 80s, we could just whistle down Main Street like, and just be happy. Like, I mean, just all day, all night. This fear did not exist anywhere. Everybody was just in their suits. They were in loafers. How did you ever do the parks in suits?
I don't know, man. When people dressed up to the nines, and I have no idea how they did that.
Like,
I mean,
I feel
know
like I'm dressing up when I wear like pants that are not like, you know, Adidas. You know, like when I wear a belt, I feel like I'm dressing up for the Magic Kingdom. These people wore sport coats.
They did.
Anyway, back to what I'm saying.
Heels. I know people wear heels. I can't do that. I can't. No.
So anyway, I forgot. Anyway, in the 80s, this fear did not exist. Here's my biggest fear. And I promise you, this fear will never happen for me, but I bet it does for your teenagers, because all the time for my kid, Mallory. I'm at the Magic Kingdom, any park. I'm at Epcot. I don't care. I'm at Animal Kingdom. I'm back in Asia, getting ready to ride Everest at Animal Kingdom. It's 10:12 a.m. I glanced down at my phone, and it says 12% battery remaining. What? No, because you cannot do this to me. I have to have juice. So all of a sudden, I'm not worried about riding Expedition Everest. I'm not worried about getting some sweet fried rice over at Yak and Yeti, which I was probably worried about more at that point. But now I got to worry about this. I got to get juice. And I'm not talking about Jamba Juice. I'm talking about electrons. Because the one thing besides magic bands that make your Disney vacation go are electrons at this point for your mobile device. And so I'm running around. I'm like, okay. And I'm not gonna be like the person, like I call these electron scavengers, the people that find like a random plug. It'll be like at a store, or like it's some, like, you know, on the backside of a water cart or something.
They're sitting next to your table at a quick service location.
Yes.
Asking if they can plug into the plug underneath your table.
Right.
And it's like, this is awkward.
I know, like, you're too close to my leg. Back off.
Yes.
What I do though, I go and I buy one of those little power rods, because I'm paying $30 fuel rods, but then it doesn't work. So I got to go over to the counter at the store in Harambe and figure out what's going on. I check in, and the person there that's trying to get me my thing is Scoopy with the chainsaw. But then I have juice, so I don't care. So it's all good.
I knew it was coming.
I know it's a long way to go.
It was a long way to go, but that's all right. Appreciate it.
All right, Ricky, go ahead. What do you got?
So I think this is a common fear that has especially been happening to a lot of people lately. Matter of fact, I think it happened this week, as you know, we learned that Akershus was reopening, and as we learn about more and more of these restaurant reopenings happening, it's not so much the restaurants for me, because like I know, like, hey, look, it's cool. I'll get into the restaurant at some point, and heck, I haven't even been to Akershus yet. So like, that's not like it's on the radar, but it's not. But it's that fear of being like, something's being released that day, like whether it's special tickets to an event, or it's reservations for a restaurant or whatever. And there's that fear of them running out of that particular restaurant, or candlelight processional dining package for Neil Patrick Harris, or whatever. Like, it's whatever like thing you really have to do for your vacation. I know Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique was another big one. The Harmony Barbershop was a big one earlier this year. So
get your hair did.
Yeah, so like getting those reservations for those like must-have things, especially right now, the things that are coming back. And look, I mean, I get that fear. Like, we've all had that fear of, oh my gosh, they're gonna sell out of this, or it's especially hard for me with like party tickets, because you have a specific day that you maybe want to go on, and it's going to be really popular that day, and you're taking the chance of, oh no, is that party ticket going to be available? That was what happened to me last year with it was the very merriest nights over at Disneyland, because that's a whole other ball of wax. I know, like, the locals at Disneyland come out in droves. I was going on the first day, and of course, like, that was the only day I could go. And of course, there was this huge, long, like, virtual queue line for me to be in. And you're sitting there waiting impatiently, because you see, like, the time ticking down of, like, okay, you have, 45 minutes to go. Okay, I have 30 minutes to go. Oh my gosh, this virtual queue. Did this virtual queue just go back up in time? Did I have 30 minutes and now I have 40 again? Yeah. Like it's like the most freaky thing. And then you're hoping and you're praying and you're wishing that, oh my gosh, I hope that the date I need is available for the day I need it. And then either there's lots of chorus of angels of, the date is available, or there's that huge disappointment of, the day I wanted to go is not available. And then, I know, it's so sad. And then Goofy with the chainsaw is there and he's roaring it because he's telling you that the day is not there.
If you can't get that, you're looking online, try to get that ADR. Remember, you can always call 407 WDW Dine and speak with a cast member. But the one time that I called to try to figure that out, all of a sudden, gosh, and I'm like,
oh man, right?
He's answering the phones.
Exactly. So being sold out of those things is definitely like a fear of, me, and I know a lot of other listeners that we have. Again, not so much for dining for me, because like I know like, okay, well, hopefully I'll get into it eventually in the future, but if you have a party or something like that you really want to make sure you get into, I get that disappointment.
That's a good one though. That was a little bit too close to home. Like,
I know. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry if I gave you high.
Have fun here. You're hitting for real fear. Because you're really like we're trying to be funny, scary. You're being.
I know. I'm going like scary. I'm really going for it today.
Yeah, you are, dude. You're like cutting to the core there. I'm just saying. All right, Pam. What do you got? Give us another one.
So this is my fear, and it really wasn't anything I ever thought about until on a trip as I'm resort hopping. This happened to me 2 resorts in a row. And that is the fear that my coffee maker in the room is not going to work.
Oh no.
Because it's a little scary. Because I'm like the person who wants my cup of coffee before I'm getting ready to go
get
out,
your cup of coffee. Yes, exactly.
To face the rest of society, and they want that too, right? They want me to have my coffee, but and it was actually 2 resorts in a row. Got there, coffee maker didn't work, and it took a while for it to come. And so during that time, you're like, no coffee. And then the next resort I checked into, the exact same thing happened. So then I'm sure I must have texted Jocelyn about this and been like, oh my gosh, can you believe this? My coffee maker doesn't work. Because that year for Christmas, she bought me a foldable silicone pot that I can pack and have with me. And then it does like a pour over, like it does sort of like a French press or a French pour over kind of thing. So that was the solution to this. So now I never have to worry about that again. But it's still like those, brings a little fear to me.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. That is legit. And you know what? That happened to me at Coronado Springs. So I was, and I don't drink coffee, but I was going to have a hot tea. It was after my marathon last January. I was down there. It was like cold because you get cold after you run. You get, you're all hot and then your body cools off. So I'm like, I'm going to have me a tea and pretend like I'm English. I go to that Keurig, it is, right?
Keurig. Yeah.
So I put the little cup thing in there and the water didn't work. So I'm like, oh, you kidding me? I've been wanting this tea. I was thinking about it for the last 6 miles of this race. I've been riding my bus back. I need this. I just had my shower. So I call down to the front desk. I'm like, look, what are you trying to do to me? I'm at a moderate. Like I would expect this at Pop Century, but I need my hot tea. So they're like, sir, no problem. We will bring you another Keurig right now. Be there in 10 minutes. I'm like, cool. I'm like, but you're on the clock. I'm like, so it was like the 60 minutes thing. I was like, gee. So I put them on the clock. Sure enough, 7 minutes and 32 seconds later, knock on the door. I'm like, sweet. My tea maker's here. My Keurig has arrived. I open up the door. Go me with the chainsaw. Right there, scare me to death. I'm like, I don't need this. What are you doing? I just ran a marathon.
Oh my gosh. People who have never listened to the show before are going to wonder why we keep bringing up Giving Up the Chainsaw.
Here's the thing, though. This podcast is so old that there's now these artificial AIs that actually make art that somebody could. There's like 3 or 4 different legit programs or like services that now you can just feed in. Like you could type in Goofy with a chainsaw and it would give you some kind of a really demonic looking Goofy
with the chainsaw.
With the chainsaw.
With the chain. Somebody needs to do that for us because I can't remember
gosh.
These tech podcasts we talk about all the time.
Go back to a podcast a couple years ago. That's what it's from.
Somebody's like, you haven't done it all Halloween season, so I'm giving you all.
You're getting it all right now. Yeah.
Okay.
All the goofies with the chainsaw.
Yeah. Let's go one more round. And this is actually a legitimate story that happened where I was for real scared that I might have physical harm. And Pam, I know, was there. Ricky, I think you were there.
Okay.
And I've talked about this on the show. It was probably about 7 or 8 years ago. We were at Walt Disney World together for some kind of an event. We rented a pontoon boat to see the fireworks during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And it was a cold December night.
Yes.
But we were having a good time. We had on our Santa Christmas hats with the Mickey ears. Those things are pretty warm. We were dressed all warm. We had our hand warmers. And there were like 10 of us. Yeah, we had blankets. It was cold that night. Because it's Walt Disney World. Once it gets dark in December on a cold night, it gets cold. And so we had our hot cocoa.
Especially when you're out on the water and you're
Yeah. And we were out on Seven Seas Lagoon, right? So the boat guys taking us all around, we're all over the place. And he gets us in our spot, turns the corner kind of to get us a good spot to watch the Christmas fireworks show, the holiday fireworks show. And so we're getting excited. Well, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, he turns the corner and the boat started, and I am not making this up, started taking on water. Like water comes in over the side. And I'm like, what? It was freezing. And there was more water coming in than I was expecting. I was like, if this thing starts sinking, because I know there's like life vests and stuff in there, but I am not wanting to go into Seven Seas Lagoon in July when it's 100 degrees.
Nope.
I am definitely not wanting to go into Seven Seas Lagoon at night in December in like 3 layers of clothes, freezing already. And I legit thought this is like a 50-50 proposition. He like fixed it so that the boat, we kind of squeegeed the water out and we were good and we watched fireworks. But for like 10 seconds, I was like, this is bad. Pam, you were there. Like legit, there was water coming over the side of that boat. I was like, this is not right.
I don't even know what caused it.
Not either. It was
it was a worthy vessel.
Yeah, I think he turned the corner too sharp and it kind of like dug into the water or something, and the water came pushing over the side.
We dipped down in or something.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it was frightening, and I was with you. I had no desire to be cold and wet. So it was just, that was a legit concern, I'm gonna say. And the boat drivers there are so awesome. I think it was just an issue with like the pontoon dipping to one side a little bit or something.
Yeah, it kind of bit down into the water and just came right up on us. But then the weird thing was like, he got us like there. And then, I was like, whew. So we watched fireworks, got to hear the music. There are a bunch of pontoons out there that night, and we were all bundled up, had our blankets. It was a great show. We, fun friends and everything. And then I look back because I'm like, God, that captain is like Captain Stubing. Is it, Captain and Tennille? Like who's driving our boat that almost got us to drive? I look back and it's Goofy with a chainsaw driving the boat. And I was like, I jumped right in. No, just kidding. I did. That was fine.
Wow.
That was weird.
That got intense.
That got intense. Okay, Ricky, last one. What do you got?
All right. So my last one is one that actually is a genuine fear. I have, a few fears, and I think you guys all know where I'm going with this at this point. And that the 100% is dinosaur. I legit am terrified of this attraction. So much so I will not, it takes a lot for me to like wait in line with you. Like when my husband and my brother and all them want to go on the ride, and I'm just like, I'll catch you guys at the end of it because I'm not going in that ride at all. Like I'm not going inside it. Don't even want. Nope. So I'm deathly afraid of dinosaurs. It's a fear that has like been. It's kind of tongue in cheek now at this point, but like seriously, it is a fear. Like I've been afraid of them since I was a kid. Actually, thanks to Walt Disney World and going on, Universe of Energy back in the day. that ride terrified me. They had the dinosaurs and that, and it got me. My parents took me on that when I was like 2, and that was it. I was done. So like I have had this fear irrationally ever since I was 2 years old. So when Disney creates an attraction where they actually have dinosaurs that are chasing you, wanting to eat you, and I use that in quotes because obviously they're not actually wanting to eat you, but like that's the whole premise of the attraction. And that's what my fear has been. Needless to say, that's not necessarily an attraction that I'm super jazzed to get on. So I will literally avoid that attraction. And actually, my family really doesn't even ask to ride that anymore. Like, they already know. Like, they're like, yeah, no, it's fine. We're good. We know you don't want to ride it. So, it's all good. But again, this is one of those other attractions that, like, I really wish that I could ride, because I do ride Indiana Jones out in
Indiana Jones is awesome.
Indiana Jones is awesome, and it is the exact same attraction at Disneyland as it is in Walt Disney World with Dinosaur. It's just a different setup. Obviously one is themed around dinosaurs and one is themed around Indiana Jones. That attraction is so cool, and I absolutely love it. If they had done anything but dinosaurs in Walt Disney World, I would be okay with it. But because they put dinosaurs chasing after you, trying to eat you, I'm not cool with it. And the same thing actually happens to me at Universal when we go to ride Jurassic Park. I'll do fine.
I would imagine that land's not real hot for you.
It's not great. I do fine, like in the outside section, where you're peacefully going along and floating around the river. And then when they start adding the part where you go inside and they start all the sirens start going, and that giant dinosaur is going to come and scare the bejeebus out of you, I'm just like, nope. And I close my eyes the entire time I'm inside, and that's not a joke. Like, I legit close my eyes the entire time.
Speaking of, though, they had a little I saw during Hurricane Ian, Universal had some damage to the Jurassic Park section of the theme park. Did they ever catch all the dinosaurs that got out?
Yeah, the dinosaurs got caught. They got put back inside, so we're all good there. They're all fine. Yeah,
because I hadn't heard an update, so that's
no, the update's good. The dinosaurs are all back inside. They're not roaming around the land anymore. We're good.
I can sleep better. But I will say, okay, speaking of dinosaur, that ride, Indiana Jones is better. Everybody used to say that, not because I've never been to Disneyland, but I loved Indiana Jones. That was so cool. I like dinosaur. It's a lot of fun. And last time I was riding it, I was having a good time because I drive a Jeep Wrangler and it's bouncy. It's kind of like riding in my Jeep. Just, we have kind of bad roads in Missouri, so it's really not a whole lot of difference than going to get Taco Bell. So I was riding and have a good time. Here comes, got to take your picture. The thing's going to try to eat you real quick towards the end of the ride. But then, you get to the end and you're all happy, right? And, you're like, it's slow, it's smooth. And you come to that last little part where there's the monitor on the right side. And the guy comes on, he's like, oh, thanks for going along on my little field trip. And he's like, and you brought back one extra passenger. And I look behind me, and it's Goofy with a chainsaw on the back seat. I'm like, what? I thought it was supposed to be a Carnosaurus.
Nope, Goofy with a chainsaw. That's it. That's it.
It was so weird.
That's very weird. Yeah.
It was the Halloween overlay. It was weird.
Can you imagine if that actually was the Halloween overlay? That would be amazing.
It's not hard, Disney. I just made that up in 2 seconds.
No, I know, right? And you got the Goofy that already looks demonic with the nude Goofy version. So like, it's already you're already halfway there. So
did you say nude Goofy? What?
No, new Goofy.
Oh, it's like I've never seen that one, and I don't want to. Okay, good.
That would be a whole other horror show. So yeah, no, thank you on that. Yeah.
No, speaking of. Yes. Okay. Pam, please close us out because this is a horrible
with not nude Goofy.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't know.
That's a whole other frightening thought.
Everybody thought they heard that too. I'm just saying.
No.
So I'm going to share a fear that is very common with guests, right? And with us too, I'm sure. But as you're making your ADR, as you're thinking about where you want to go on your next trip, you're adding in some new spots, you're going back to your old spots. And the big fear is, what if the thing I really love is not on the menu anymore?
Oh, yes.
Okay, stop. Because I'm picturing, I walk into Olivia's, sir, you no longer have buttermilk chicken.
You're done.
Whoa,
yes.
No.
You're done.
Instead, give me the chainsaw comes out. And gives you a ham and cheese sandwich, and it's not what you wanted.
Yeah, he's carving a ham and cheese sandwich.
But no, seriously, I'm happy to say on my next trip, I was able to book Ale and Compass for breakfast, and they did bring back my favorite breakfast pizza, which I'm very excited about. But for many months, well, actually for over a year now, it has not been there, and that's a little scary.
No, I get you. I mean, Disney took away one of my favorite things years ago. I think they brought it back semi-recently somewhere. I think it was at a resort. I saw somebody post about it, but it's temporary for, I think, Halloween. But they used to have the cake cups. Remember those? You guys definitely remember those because that's where I spilled the cake cup all over my camera at the time, and there's pictures of that. But anyway, it was a layer of it was like a layer of cupcake, and then it was a layer of icing, and then another layer of cupcake, and another layer of icing, another layer of cupcake, and then like this mound of icing on top. And oh my gosh, it was so good. It used to be at the Cheshire Cafe, and they took it away. And I've been very sad ever since, until I saw that it was, I think it's at the boardwalk actually, or something. I'm going to have to double check that before I go down, or have already been down this weekend. So yeah, I'm going to have to find that because I want one of those really bad.
It's a lot of icing.
It's a lot of icing. That is true. Yes. Yes. But if you could bring it back full time, Disney, I would much appreciate that. I'm just saying the cake cup was amazing. So yes.
Today, if you don't consume the equivalent of that cube, like that rectangular prism of C&H sugar that's in your cabinet right now, your pantry, you're doing it wrong. I mean, today, just tear it up.
Mm-hmm.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. All right. Well, hey, we had a good time. We hope you did too. And we want to hear what legitimately scares you on social media today while you're playing around at work, getting ready to go trick-or-treating. Also, don't forget tonight, just one more reminder as you're headed home from work, you're out and about. Just one more reminder, be careful driving home. Go a little bit slower in your neighborhood. Watch out for all the ghosts and goblins. They'll be running across the street, not paying attention. Let's all do our part to keep everybody in our community safe as the kids trick-or-treat. Have fun. If they're older, like we said, give out the candy. At least they're not taking the hubcaps off your cars. They're out there having a good time as well. We don't know what their childhood was like. So yeah, hopefully you had some fun with that today. As always, our shows are brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. No tricks, all treats. Swing by the website. We'll help you plan a great Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney trip. No cost to you, and you get professional service each and every time. Check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you shop online as this holiday season kicks off here soon. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. We appreciate you so very much. Your support each month matters and lets us do the show 3 to 4 times a week, every week. If you'd like to join us and get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest, we'd love to have you. Come on over to patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Ricky a follow on the social media. She's at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIVS. And you can see all her coverage from this past weekend down at Walt Disney World there. You can follow Pam, TMFLT Pam, on the social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. I'd love to talk to you this week so you can see what's going on with me for Halloween night. I don't know what we're doing, but we'll have fun and we'll post it on social media for sure. And of course, join Scott and I on Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central on YouTube and Facebook, where we'll open up the phone lines and talk Disney for the first time in the month of November. I can't believe it's already November. That'll be crazy. Man, this year's going fast. But I love this time of year because I love Halloween, love Thanksgiving, love Christmas. It's going to be fun. We got a lot of stuff coming up on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we are going to get out of here. We'll be back again on Wednesday with more of your listener questions. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike saying stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you. Rawr!
Yay! And I found the trifle. It's at the market at Ale and Compass, so that's where I'm headed this weekend. Yay!
As stupid as that show was, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. This is true. This is true. Yes.
I mean, it felt good for me to laugh too. I mean,
that's good. That's good.
It's the stupidest show ever, but our show was never not stupid.
No,
so
this is true. This is true.
We don't take ourselves too seriously. I'm sitting here in a banana suit.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hey, all right, I gotta roll. Did
you guys see that my brother's engaged?
Did not.
my brother's engaged.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
He got engaged at Halloween Horror Nights on Saturday. Saturday.
Wow.
So
Oh, that's awesome. Good for him.
I know.
Absolutely.
Congrats,
So there's,
Casey.
lots of big things happening for our family night in the next year.
Yeah,
to 2
right.
years.
Y'all are gonna be busy.
I hope your parents save their money.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask my mom. But yeah, so my brother's gonna get married.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Good for him.
Yes. So his boyfriend proposed to him in front of Mel's dying.
What? Mel's dying?
Yeah.
Because they removed the end during Halloween Horror Night.
Oh, see.
Yes.
Die-in.
Yes. So
That's awesome.
he did it with Little Boo. It was in the Little Boo Sipper. So because that's the character for Universal right now for their Halloween Horror Nights. So it was really cute. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Nights.
Yes. So anyway, all right. Well, yeah. I'm headed down this weekend. I'll be back on. Well, I don't know if we're gonna record on Monday because that is Halloween.
No, let's plan on Tuesday next week because I'll probably go around with my nephew.
I figured.
Is that cool? Can we do that?
I think I don't have my schedule right here in front of me, but I will look at that.
Okay.
We get off.
Yes.
But the following Monday, I will for sure not be here. So I just want to let you know that.
Okay, cool.
Monday,
I'm going back
to 7th.
Monday the 31st. Yes, yeah, the 7th. I will not be here. I'm having my baby shower in St. Louis, and it will be that weekend, and so I'm not gonna be in town. My flight comes back in on Monday. So
Okay.
just a heads up.
Let's try to do Tuesday if we can for next week.
Okay, that sounds good. I can do
All
Tuesday
right.
next week.
All right.
But I just want to give you a heads up ahead of time so that way you can get Scott ready for that
If
Monday.
not, maybe Pam, we could do one early and then one Tuesday, like one early Monday.
Okay. All right.
All right. We'll see
All
you
right,
guys
see ya.
later. Bye.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Take this banana off.